What is going on, Eagle Nation? It's your boy Philly Mike back, and we are back with Battle Birds, the podcast, episode 1.5, I'm going to guess, because we do the pregame here at BBP and we do the postgame. So we were on here earlier, a couple hours ago, giving our predictions and talking about how the Eagles were going to get it done, and they did it. Last year, Battle Birds podcast, we had a lot of funerals after the game, but we are here. The birth of the new Eagles team. Hurts, Sirianni, introduce yourselves for the people who don't know you. My guy to my right.
Yo, that man. You listen, man. It's your boy Philly Fresh, aka the General, and aka a happy man right now. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. We're gonna get into why I'm happy. We're gonna get into some things I did not like at the halftime. You know what I mean? Made a video about it, had to express how I felt, and I felt as though they made adjustments. We're gonna get into that. What's going on, the guy below me?
What's good, everybody? Steve, Gay City Sports Channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Hey, man, it feels good to celebrate a win because, man, the start was worrisome, bro. The start was worrisome, but we saw that our talent level took over as the game kept going on. And you could just tell after we went into halftime, like, okay, we're going to pull away.
Yeah. And this is a great comment to start with. Victor, he said, is the crying over the defense over? 5 minutes into the game, everybody's saying the defense is trash. And yes, because of the fact, the way they came out and they were catching wide open passes in our zone defense. And then what scares me more is a couple wide open passes I think is correctable more than the fact that you just getting gouged for rushing yards by guys like Mike Davis and Cordell Patterson, an XY receiver. That really hurt me. But again, I was telling people, yes, the eye test in the first quarter, you're going to say this defense looked bad, but they did show up in the red zone back-to-back possessions. And then after showing up in the red zone, Gannon being a first-time defensive play caller, because remember, he's controlled of the defense, and he went from a coordinator to a defensive coordinator, just a cornerbacks coach to the DC. And I think he did a great job adjusting, something we can't talk about in the previous Eagles tenure at coaching staff. They adjusted, and whatever you want to say about this run defense and a couple wide open passes, look at the end results. They played a full game of football and could not punch it in the end zone. And I do think Atlanta low-key got a top 10-ish offense. I think they're going to be upper echelon in the offensive categories, and we held them to 0 touchdowns. I love it.
Yeah, man. When you look at it and you really break it down. Victor, the comment that you gave, I get it, I understand, but it was warranted. And to me, it was. And to me, it really wasn't what you said, Mike. It wasn't the open guys. It was the fact that everybody was getting juked out their socks. I mean, you had Avante Maddox, even Darius Slay, Singleton, the guy that's supposed to be our tackling machine, Eric Wilson. Dudes was getting juked, and I'm like, yo, this one-on-one tackling misses cannot continue. That's what had me heated. It wasn't even the fact that they was going um, up in between the 20s or whatever the case may be. Then we cracked down in the red zone. I kind of said that pregame, and me and also Gates, we talked about it, and we said that Gates asked the question: "Will you be surprised that they run the football? They're trying to run the football down our throat." I said no, because that's what they had. That's really all that they had above us, or to try to be above us. And I thought Gannon should have seen that coming. But first game, defensive coordinator, but he did make the adjustment. He finally came off the two high safety. Sorry, he did make some adjustments. He put more safeties in, and took a linebacker out that made it more flexible against the run and the pass. So I liked it when I seen there. Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a lot. Eagles landed. I'm feeling good, man. Just don't let this bed fool you. You hear me? I ain't got no choice but to be in here, but I do feel good. Thank you. I appreciate that. You for asking. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. The second half, well, really the first half, I was impressed. Offensively, I really don't have no complaints. Like when you look at that game, I don't have any complaints offensively. We did go through a quarter where we didn't score any points, went through a little stutter or whatever the case may be. But I get it, that's going to happen. But you seen what I said. They did how they did Dak Prescott. They let the first two plays. What did they do? They want to screen Quez Watkins one side, Quez Watkins the other side. You know what I mean? Then they gave the ball to Miles Sanders. They put the ball in playmakers' hands and let them go eat. Now the defense is on their heels. Now you still got to worry about a guy like Jalen Hurts who can run and also throw the football on the run. So you're dealing with a guy that can beat you with his legs and his arms, and now he has talent around him that's being utilized right. And this can be a
Yes.
scary sight. NFC East, watch out. Go ahead, Sean.
Let's go. Go ahead, Gate.
No, I mean, I think you said a lot of things I agree with you, Reese, which is number one, I think the talent that's surrounding Jalen Hurts is better than what a lot of the national media members thought. I mean, they thought that the talent was really bad around him. And truth be told, there's a lot of mitigating circumstances around the entire team last year that may have given an inadequate assessment of the actual like talent level of the roster, in my opinion.
Right,
And I think that we saw that come to life because we saw a really good called game from Nick. I thought Nick did a really good job with keeping Jalen on schedule. Jalen did. There were a couple throws that Jalen made in this game where I was like, he gets it. Like that's a beautiful read. That's a beautiful anticipation with the ball coming out. Even on the one incompletion of Dallas Goddard, it was a great anticipation pass by Jalen Hurts. He threw the
right.
ball out there before Goddard made the cut. I mean, I thought that there were just, you could just see these little glimpses and these little pieces, of the game where you're like, okay, like this team's way better than what people think. Defensively, I am a little concerned about our ability to stop the running game because, to be honest with you, this was not a very good O line or D line we played against, and that does worry me a little bit. That we got to be a little cautious about feeling a little too good about how easily we took over the game in the second half. Because I do think there'll be other teams that will put up more of a fight than this. But we saw, man, once the game wore on, our talent level was superior than theirs, and you know, look at Hargrave, and then even
Where's the
what's
West?
his name, Ridgeway. Like they straight up took over they took over that middle part of the defense. They were just absolutely pushing back the pocket late in that second half of the game, and it was over. I mean, we just out physically played them.
I agree 100%. Shout out to Carlos Garcia, channel member with the $5 super chat. Hertz gives me 28.76 points today in fantasy. Fly, Eagles fly. Win is a win. I agree. The fantasy owners love Hertz. I mean, let's be honest. He was 27 of 35, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles, and you gotta love it. And when with 264 yards through the air, he added 74 yards on the ground. Again, ATL's defense is not good. But one thing I wanted to see from Hertz is keep the turnovers down and, you know, make the most of your opportunities. I think the touchdown passes were good, whether you believe Dallas Goedert caught it or not. That throw that Jalen Hurts did, the way he was angled on the run in that tight window, because Dallas Goedert had to die for it. That was a very tight window. He kind of threw him open, and you can't ask for more than what Jalen Hurts did in an opening game, whether it's a soft defense or not, because the 264 is in the air, but the 74 on the ground, he still accounted for over 300 total yards. But before we get to the next talking point, Chris with
He
the
led the
$5
team in
super,
rushing.
huh?
He led the team in rushing.
Yeah, which is kind of concerned. Oh yeah, Miles Sanders had what? What did Miles Sanders had? He was Miles had like 80 yards, didn't
I,
he?
I don't know, but I think we need to address that too.
Oh, well,
Um,
I want
um,
to.
go ahead.
No, we'll talk about the running backs. But I also wanted to ask you how you feel about the two fourth down decisions to go for it and not take the points. But real quick, Chris with the $5 super chat, not nitpicking, but are you concerned with Nick going for it so often? Right there, I didn't even read it, and he said that. What is your take on that? Going for 4th and 2 twice.
But I'll let you go, Gage, because I got something to say after that.
I mean, they're trying to come out and be aggressive. I mean, I think that they saw early on in the game the offense was stalling a little bit. We were pushing the ball, but we'd get some kind of penalties, mostly false starts, things like that would kind of knock us back a little bit. I think they were just trying to jumpstart the offense. I will admit, in that situation, I would have taken the 3 points personally, but
Which
I think they
one?
just kind of looked at it and saw where they were in the point in the game, saw they had the lead, wanted to be aggressive, and went for it. I mean, like I said, personally, I would have taken the 3 points in that situation, but it's easy to second guess it because nobody would have said that if they picked it up. You know what I mean?
What
True.
situation though?
We
Do I
were up
sound
like
crazy?
15. We were up like 15-6, and we were. I want to say we were around like the 25 or so, and it was like a 4th and 2 or something like that. And Nick went for it, and they got stuffed on a run play.
Oh, you talking about the last one? See that? See, yeah, that's really the only one I had a problem with. The first one I really didn't have a problem with. When we got the penalty, well, not us got the penalty, but when they got the penalty and then and went to the from a field goal to the 1 yard line, I ain't had no problem with them going for two right there. I actually thought they was smart. But the last one with the Kenneth Gainwell stop. Not just because he got stopped, but I don't think I would have went for it there. You're already up 2 possessions. Just take the 3 points right there, and then you're up 3 possessions. So I probably definitely would have took the points right there. Because then if you look at it, it's the end of the third quarter. We didn't score any points in the third quarter. It's the end of the third quarter right there. The game kind of gets out of hand. It's a 3 possession game, and maybe Atlanta panics Atlanta panics before they panic before they already did. Yeah, I mean, if what I'm saying is, if you make it a 3 possession game, now Atlanta is panicking, and now they're throwing the ball, and now our defensive line probably could have ate earlier. If y'all get what I'm saying, you know what I mean. But to tell you the truth, I kind of I did say I couldn't complain about really anything offensively. But I'm trying to figure out Miles Sanders' role in this situation. It's confusing the hell out of me. I mean, you don't have the kid out there 2 minute drill. You don't have him out there at the end of the game. It's like, who is this guy for you? You know what I mean? You got Gainwell out there, which is fine. That's going to be the guy. Let that be the guy, whatever the case may be. And I get it. He does have surer hands, or whatever the case may be, but that doesn't make him a better back. It doesn't make him a better running back than Miles. And even in that situation, I'm talking about the 2 minute drill at the end of the half. You still could have threw Miles Sanders in there and still had a couple plays with Gainwell on there. To me, that's really the only thing that I didn't understand. It's supposed to be your starting back, whatever he's supposed to be. And we already know there's something going on up there anyway. This is why he's been dropping passes in preseason. That's why he's been dropping passes and reportedly in camp, whatever the case may be. And for him not to be out there, I think that would mess with his head even more. Um, so to me, I really don't like the fact that Miles Sanders is not being used in the end of these halves and the end of the game.
Yeah, real quick, shout out to DH Eagle with the 199 super chat. Yo, Fleet Talk, keep doing your thing. Appreciate you, my guy. But I will say this: I made a mistake. Jalen Hurts didn't have 74 yards on the ground. He had 62, and Miles Sanders had 74. So he still was the lead back. He took 15 carries, 74 yards, average 4.9 yards per carry. But Kenneth Gainwell did get 9 carries. So running backs touched the ball 24 times in this game. And out of 24 times, I thought Miles would be more of the 18 and Kenneth Gainwell will be like 6. I'm surprised he got 9 touches out of 24. What is y'all take on as Fresh said? How do you feel, Gate, with the workload they're giving Kenneth, and is it mainly because Miles Sanders lacks of catches in camp this offseason?
I honestly thought Miles Sanders played pretty well overall. I thought he did a fairly good job in pass pro. I thought he stepped up on a couple third down plays and made some pretty clear blocks on linebackers coming in. I mean, he didn't have a ton of opportunities. I think he had like 4 catches. He didn't have a ton of opportunities to really be a receiving back, but it wasn't like, like it was anything crazy out there. I just think the Eagles really like the combination of Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell. That's what I got from it. It's kind of hard to break it down, but if you look at the 66 total plays I tracked, I want to say there were like 31 running plays in total, 35 passing plays, worked its way out to like a 53 to 47 percentage. Keep in mind, 1 or 2 of Jalen Hurts' runs were scrambles. They weren't necessarily designed stuff, so you can skew that a little bit. But nonetheless, like I think Reach was pretty close because I think pregame he said about 55-45, and it was pretty close. That was pretty close to the percentage of what it was. So I mean, they ran the ball to close out the game. I will say one thing I did pick up on, guys, is that, and they said it in the like when they were calling the game. Kenneth Gainwell was in there for a lot of the 2-minute work stuff, a lot of the hurry up in 2 minutes, and that's
what I was talking about.
Yeah, that was an interesting role. It's an interesting role for Kenneth Gainwell. I mean,
I'm taking it that the Eagles prefer him as the better catching back. In the 2-minute drill, you're going to throw the ball more than you're going to run. And so that's why I believe they kept him in there, even though Miles Sanders didn't drop a ball today, and maybe he can win the coaching staff back.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem with it. But my thing is, you want to use how the Patriots use James White, whatever the case may be, cool. But at the end of the game, you're not throwing a freaking football. At the end of the game, you're not throwing football. And Miles Sanders was not in. It was Kenneth Gainwell. So that was alarming to me also. You know what I mean? All right. So you don't want to put him in because we're in basically passing territory, and you don't want to put him in at the end of the game. Well, all Kenneth Gainwell was doing is carrying the football. Remember we said this, and that's when your power back to me should come in when it's 3 minutes left, no matter if you up 2 possessions or whatever the case may be. 3 minutes left, trying to get the game moving. You're trying to go home, get to the showers, and you got that power back that just runs through everybody. People wore it down. Ain't nobody really trying to tackle. They trying to get up out of there, and you bring in Kenneth Gainwell instead of Miles Sanders. To me, that's confusing to me. I don't know. I don't. Maybe I'm thinking too much on this, but I know about being a running back, and I know when you're the guy, you get the ball when the not game really wasn't on the line, but when the game is over, you get when the game is coming to an end, you get the ball. You're the guy. You're the guy that's going to take us home. And they didn't do that for my Sanders. They did that for Kenneth Gainwell. So that's just scratching my head. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree. You got to question why they put a rookie guy in there for some of them key snaps, and you can kind of throw some of the because it's for pass catching abilities because they weren't really pass. They looked like they were going to run it regardless. I don't know. We're gonna see how this plays out long term. Does Kenneth Gainwell's carries creep up to the double digits? Right now, it's a 15-9 split. Looks like we're going to be more of a committee. But shout out to Drew Johnson. He got the $5 super chat. He said, "Yo, sup, fellas? Let's go. I'm looking forward to seeing this staff build off this win. It feels so good right now. Yes, it does. Fly, Eagles, fly." Look,
Shout out to you, Drew.
Just coming out week 1 with a W is big. We saw Washington lost. We know Dallas lost. And right now the Giants trail 3-0. We'll see where that goes. But you got to set the tempo early for the Eagles. This is one thing I want to say. Because of how young this coaching staff and the quarterback and some of these players are, this is a huge win. I mean, if a team like KC slips up and loses game 1, they got, the veteran coach. They got players who've been in a Super Bowl. You can easily bounce back. I think for a team going into the season the way the Eagles were, you couldn't ask for a better start, a more confident builder, And I think it's going to be good coming to our season opener against a team like the Niners, who I don't know if they won or lost, but they look good against the Lions. Trey Lance is in there. But it's important to just to keep building this uh this momentum. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I mean, look, there's a lot of positives here from a growth standpoint because, I mean, that's the one thing we got to keep in mind. The game wasn't perfect. I can tell you that without even seeing the coach's tape right yet. I can already tell you there were some mistakes made there. But what I did see was a few things I thought were really important. And we talked about how Dean Pease loves to do a lot of pre and post snap stuff. And one of my concerns is we saw all this work for Quez Watkins on the first drive, and then he went away from the offense. But in saying that, I think 2 out of 3 of those throws to him, those were slight adjustments made by Jalen Hurts because he's looking at Pease's defense, seeing what's going on, he didn't like the run play design there, and he does a slight adjustment and throws it into, a little bubble screen. And there's definitely growth here, guys. I mean, there are things that are good to see. I know some people are discouraged that there wasn't any, stretching vertically of the football, but you got to understand that sometimes coverage will dictate that. So you can't, that's like saying like, oh, well, they didn't try to stretch the ball vertically on the Eagles. Well, we're playing cover 2. It's kind of hard to do that. It's kind of hard to beat a cover 2 like that. I thought they did a good job of staying patient, executing within the offense. I do have some concerns like I said, against better D lines and better O lines, what the result will be. Because I do wonder if we move the ball down the field and we get inside the red zone, are we going to have to default back to a lot of Jalen Hurts creating plays? Because the offensive line, to me, it played well, but there were areas where I was like, man, I don't expect. I didn't think Lane Johnson had a good game, guys. I'm just going to be honest. I don't think Lane Johnson had a good game at all.
No.
And was it Salamalu? Yeah, Salamalu had a bad game. Both. I'm talking about penalty wise. It was horrible. The holding, Lane Johnson was holding when he didn't need to hold. The false starts, like, dude, you can't not have 2 false starts in one series. That cannot happen. You know what I mean? You are the closest to the guy with the ball. So how I'm talking about Salamalu. Like, how would the heck you let that happen? Maybe you need to cut your hair so you can hear what the hell going on. You know what I mean?
Brooks had one too.
Yeah. The offensive line was penalty wise was not good. I did think that they protected, but Jalen Hurts did was able to get out of trouble. Even that one play, he didn't make a play, but to get out, and then they was congratulating the defensive end for chasing him down. I was looking at Jalen Hurts' footwork on the sideline. I don't know if y'all know the play that I'm talking about when he got chased on the sideline and he tried to throw it to, I want to say it was Rhaegar. No, I think it was Dallas Goddard. He tried to throw it to Dallas Goddard and it ended up going out of balance. But he like tiptoed on the sideline, and I mean he was being chased down. I thought Jalen Hurts was amazing today. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And it's not just look at the numbers. I thought he controlled the game. I thought he did what I asked and took what the defense gave. He didn't force anything from what I've seen. I'm looking at it on a very horrible TV also. This TV in the hospital is horrible. It's kind of like dark on one side, and it's just, and then the field like that Dallas got a touchdown. I couldn't see nothing. I don't know if he caught it or not. I ain't gonna lie to you, but
Wow.
but yeah. So, but from what I seen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought he was poised. I thought I just thought I thought the kid held his own. You know what I mean? When things broke down, I didn't think he panicked. It was a couple plays that I want to look at tape and see if people was open, but it did seem like he kept his head looking downfield while he was scrambling. And then while he was scrambling, he's getting blockers in front of him, pointing at him. Now I would like him to stop holding that ball like Michael Vick. That's one thing I don't like. You know what I mean? 'Cause all it takes is that little pull from behind pause. But all it takes is that little Let me get that, and then
Yep.
things can change the momentum of a whole game. So I need him to stop holding the football like a loaf of bread. But other than that, I ain't really got too much complaints about the kid. He threw for what 321. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he threw for 321. 13 incompletions, 35 completions. So what's that? 35
Right.
or 48
Who we talking about?
from our hurts.
He had 264 yards passing.
You sure?
Yeah, he was 27 of 35, 264 yards, 62 on the ground, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers.
Okay, my bad. I get a wrong stat. Players mess up. All right,
It's,
so
it's
that's
all
even
good.
better. Yeah, that's even better. I thought the kid was poised, man, and I like a lot from what I seen. Once again, I got to look at tape and see if some people was open down the field when he took the ball. But other than that, I ain't really got too many complaints about the kid.
Yeah, I just think that the Eagles look. Was it perfect? No. You could really look at the offensive line and say, "Come on, guys, you're the one of the y'all the veteran group. Y'all shouldn't be making this mistakes." I think Lane got called for 2 holding plays. Brooks a false start. Samalu a false start. But at the end of the day, what do good teams do? They find a way to just get over that. Now, look, when you look at the turnover battles, there was really no turnovers until the end. I don't even think we did get a turnover. We did get that fumble, right? We covered 1 fumble. No, they did we?
They
Because
ruled
they
it
No,
down. So they
they
ruled
ruled
it
it
yeah,
down.
intentional
yeah,
grounding.
yeah. They would have
Yeah.
touched the ground.
So with
And
that being said,
the commentator gonna talk about that was a smart play. No, take the sack. That's not a smart play. That's dumb as hell because you lose the down. But anyway,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, but when you look at the team as a whole and what they were able to battle through, again, no turnovers on both sides. So, us being flagged the way we were, the couple, critical things we didn't do right, going for it twice on 4th down, to really still be able to keep control of this game, like total control, you got to give them more props. I mean, I'm telling you, I think when it's all said and done, Atlanta will be top 12 in offense. I think they're going to throw up some points on some teams, and we held them to 6. I think their
They
defense
just
is
got
trash.
they just got that red zone. They got that red zone glitch, man. Like it's it don't matter who the coach is, they can't score in the red zone, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's personnel. I don't know what it is, but they cannot get in the red zone, man. Last year he was like what 27th or something in the league and getting in the red zone. They are hard. They put them numbers up. Matt Ryan going to throw for 4,000 yards. But once he get in between them 20s, man, it's a rashy scatch. You might as well get the kicker, whatever the Chinese guy name is. His name Koyu, whatever his name is. You might as well get him
Young
right out.
ho.
Yeah, you might as well get him right out on first down. Cause they ain't
Yeah.
getting in the end zone. It seemed like, man, I don't know. It's crazy, but shout out to the defense. They definitely did that. I thought Darius Slay should have had a pick six. I don't know why he just slapped the ball down. That should have been a pick six for me. Like you got to make it. Like that's one of them statement plays. You know what I mean? Like I'm back. I'm back as one of the top 10 cornerbacks in the game. If you make that pick six instead of just slapping it down, I don't know what he was thinking. But hey, man, I really ain't got too much complaint about the defense after the second half. So man, shout out to this team, man. It's week 1. We're not going to overreact, but we are going to react to what we seen. And what we seen was total dominance. Tell you the truth. I don't care if it's Atlanta. I don't care who it is because remember we tied with the Cincinnati Bengals last year. So I'm not trying to hear none of that. When we get a win is a win, and this was a dominant win in my perspective. But it is some things. Gates, you are absolutely right, especially about the offensive defensive line. It is some things that we need to clean up. Definitely got to get the sanitation crew out here, clean this stuff up. But from what I've seen, I like way more than I don't like. That's what I'm gonna say.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean, the one play that I thought was, early on in the game, I was like, oh man, what's going on with Mulata? But bro, that pancake he laid out there on that Jalen Rager touchdown, dude,
Nice.
my man waking up tomorrow in a body cast because he got trucked, man. Like, I mean, there's nothing you can do as a defender when someone like that's coming barreling down on you. Like, you already know.
That's true. That's true. Shout out to Jay Kills with the $2 super chat. He said Carson can't avoid me, senior sack. um, all I know is the the Colts lost, but I'm glad we got hurt, regardless of how we feel. Like I said, this team showed a lot. Just dominating a weak team. I'm not gonna over hype the win or downplay the win. I just think it was a solid win. The Eagles were 0-3 the last 3 times we went to ATL. It's a place that we don't play well in, but this new coaching staff definitely came in and said we're gonna change things up. We saw
but here's the thing, Mike. Like, you're absolutely right. I don't think we should get too whatever excited, but you got to get excited. First of all, we came in there as underdogs. That's number one. You know what I mean? That's number one. Number two, if we would have lost, people would have just said, "Oh well, the Eagles just lost." You know what I
oh
mean?
no,
It is
I'm
what it
excited.
is. No,
I'm
no, no, no.
excited.
I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying to people that I know how we know how people get. Oh, y'all just beat Atlanta. It's just Atlanta or whatever the case may be. But we wasn't supposed to win the freaking game. So coming into the game, we wasn't supposed to win. And not only wasn't we supposed to win, we wasn't supposed to dominate. We dominated. We dominated the game and not want to get too overzealous on the situation. But at the same time, it happened. It happened. Just like I came on here time after time after time last year, post game, snapping about things that went wrong and the coaches and this and that last year. So this year, I'm coming on here and I'm saying what I seen and what looked good. And the fact of the matter is, we dominated the Atlanta Falcons today, and there's no debate about it. Go ahead, Joe.
I agree. So, Gate, if I had to ask you though, looking at this game in its totality, what is like the most impressive part of this game? What would you say it was if you had to? I know you didn't get to look over the tape or nothing like that, but just off your head, like I was impressed with this one drive, this scenario. Like, what was your biggest like? Wow, I'm excited to see that either get better or how it transitions going forward.
Just real quick, guys, and I'll get to your question, Mike. But last time that I can see, guys, that the Eagles beat Atlanta in Atlanta was back in 2009. In terms of Mike, what you're asking, I think the most impressive thing offensively was there's a good balance of playing on time versus playing off schedule from the quarterback position. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to say, right? Because everyone always asks, like, Gate, when is a guy playing off schedule too much? When's a guy playing on schedule? To the point to where like he can't do anything that if a play breaks down. And it's like it's difficult to say the ratio. It's a feel thing. Like you just have to feel the game and feel how the player is playing out there. I thought he did a good job. I'm not saying there wasn't meat left on the bone. There was, but I thought overall he did a really great job. And I think, the first touchdown to Devontae Smith was just pure timing, man. Pure timing of having confidence of where your guy's going to be and putting the ball there for him to go make a play on the ball. That was it was such a great throw. It was such a great read. It was a really great play call. If you had to ask me like the biggest positive though, Mike, to me, it was the play call. I thought Nick Sirianni called a really good game. I said, hey man, Dean Pease is a guy that worries you because he loves to run all these confusing concepts out there, both from coverage and from a pressure perspective. And Nick was like, that's fine. He can be as aggressive as he wants. We're just going to get the ball into our playmakers' hands. And we saw Quez Watkins picked up, 3 consecutive first downs, basically. Jalen Rager beat him for a touchdown on one. Now, mind you, shout out to the offensive line and these receivers out there blocking for these, these little tunnel screens and stuff because that's what makes the big difference. But I thought it was just a really well-called game. Jonathan Gannon, I think what we learned is it's a very much a bend but don't break defense. And at times it doesn't look pretty, man. The first, the scripted stuff, the stuff they had scripted for this game, those first 14, 15 plays, I thought Atlanta really moved the ball well. But when they settled into their base offense, I thought the adjustment from Gannon was pretty good. I thought Gannon did a pretty good job pretty much getting into the late second quarter of that game through the second half. It was rough for a minute though, man. The first two possessions, I was like, oh man, like please don't let them put this in the end zone.
Right.
That's what I was really thinking. But I mean, look, they had a bend don't break style to it. I am a little concerned about, hey man, we gotta be a little bit more disciplined in our run defense. I felt like we got caught a couple of times over pursuing, getting out of our gap assignments, and they kind of took advantage of us a little bit there. But I mean, overall, I trust Hargrave. I trust Fletcher Cox to get it together. If Hassan Ridgeway can show us a spark like he did late in that game, we're going to be okay. I even thought Milton Williams played really well. He wasn't in for a ton of plays, but I did see him in there for a few. And I saw one play where they clearly had him as a 3 technique. I saw another play where he was lined up as a defensive tackle, but they had him as a 5 technique, and then they were rushing. It was either Sweat or Barnett as in a wide 9. I saw that. I was like, oh, that's not something we heard. I heard that it would be very unlikely we saw any wide 9 at all. And I was like, okay, like
Yeah.
they're going pretty deep into the bag here. So, I mean, I liked what I saw from the coaching staff, guys. I thought the coaching staff did a heck of a job preparing for this game, calling this game. There were some early hiccups. There's no doubt about it. There's still meat on the bone, but that's a good thing, man. I don't want to walk out of this game feeling like this was the best game of the year. It's not going to get any better than this. Like, no, I want to walk out here going, you know what? We completely dismantled this team late in the game, and we got more to work on. And I feel like we got a shot to beat San Francisco too.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100% with you.
Pittsburgh.
Shout out to A. Harris with the $10 donation. And he also said, hey, Fresh, get better. I believe he said, Fresh, get well. Making do it for you. Real quick, though. And
What's going on, man? What's going on? Sound like them.
there you
That's
go.
my folks right there. Can I kind of piggyback on that question that you just was asking, Mike?
Go ahead.
Um, the most impressive thing, other than coming out healthy, I don't know what happened with Zach Ertz. I didn't see any contact or whatever the case may be. But other than coming out healthy, the most impressive thing to me was the rally. Um, the rally, and you seen a team out there. You seen everybody congratulating everybody. You seen even the defensive line with the kick the door down thing that they do, you know what I mean? Like, but it seemed like we're becoming a team again. You know what I mean? It's not just one guy trying to shine or whatever the case may be, but you will also see that it's friendly competition in the room, and that's what Nick Sirianni, all the first thing that he brought to the table with this new regime or whatever you want to call it. I see kids and grown men out there having fun. You know what I mean? Of course, you always having fun when you're winning. That that definitely play a big part. But it reminds me, and I'm not saying I don't want nobody to take what I'm about to say and just go over the bridge with this. The way that the team looked, it remind me of the way I'm talking about the cohesive and the celebrations and just the team having each other's back. It remind me of 2017. You know what I mean?
Good. I think you had to pause it for.
Yeah, it might have froze on them for a second. I
I
mean, I saw one comment, Mike, where someone said that the Eagles won and they looked impressive, but we played the weakest team out of all the NFC. I don't necessarily agree with that, man. I think it's arguable between Denver and Atlanta, to be quite honest.
Yeah, we'll definitely see.
Denver's not exactly world beaters, and I think Atlanta's better coached than Denver is.
There we go. I mean, Denver got a defense, but I don't really respect nothing on their offense at all. But real quick, let's just hear a quick word from our sponsor, BetQL. Do you want to get an advantage over your sports book? Well, then the BetQL app is the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their Their best bet computer model scanners over 300, dang my throat, 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. And it gives you the reason and why you should place that bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over and unders, and player props. Don't want to use their model and want to do the research your own? Well, they have all the tools you need. They got sharp data so you can know who the pros are backing, live movement so you can jump on embedded opportunities in real time. They summarize all the teams that are better against the spread or under the spread, and they give you breaking news and injury updates. Plus, you can save all your data and track your success and your failures, and they have a leaderboard. Head to the App Store or Google Play to download BetQL or click the link in the description, try.betql.co/Philly Talk to get started now. Enter Philly Talk, all capitals, at payment for 25% off. You can find all this information in the description. And if you sign up for BetMGM Sportsbook, you can get a free year of BetQL. Don't miss out. If you want to be your sports book, check the description down low. Shout out to y'all for being here through this. But yeah, um, I would agree with Gate that Atlanta was the fourth overall pick, right? So they came into the season being the fourth worst team last year. But I do think, injuries played a part in that. Coaching played a part in that. And I think getting their guys back, they did upgrade the secondary, getting Damon Harmon and Eric Harris. Not world beaters, but they're better than the injury plagued backups they had at safety. AJ Terrell being a rookie, he's now in year 2. Maybe that can play a role, but the Eagles went out there and showed up. I think that the mistakes we made definitely cost us some points, but overall, we got the job done and we did it in the right areas. We ran the ball effectively when we needed to. We came up on defense, big on defense when we needed to, and I think we outcoached them. And so when I look at the team overall, the biggest points that I got from this was Jalen Hurts did everything and more we can ask from him, and the coaching staff put these players in great positions. Jalen Rager's touchdown was something we wanted to see from Jalen Rager all year last year. We seen it in game 1 with Nick Sirianni. I think Rager caught maybe 1 or 2 bubble screens all year last year, and they were poorly designed. So I just think there's a lot to take from this game. And again, US Today, all these websites and these analysts, Callan Cowherd, we're gonna win 3 games. We're almost halfway there. You know what I mean? If that's the case. So I just think that, my biggest thing from the Eagles is seeing the trajectory pointing up, and I already can tell that the camaraderie, the coaching, the fundamentals, everything that we heard him spiel in the offseason is coming to fruition, and I love it.
I can't disagree. Um, it's exciting to see, man. Like I said, it's only week 1. We're not going to go too crazy, too overboard, or whatever the case may be. But it was just exciting to see when you coming off a year to where as though your coach couldn't get anybody open. Remember, other than Devontae, Devontae Smith, who is a major factor in the situation, nobody can get separation. Remember last year, and we come into a situation from the rip. Quez Watkins separation from the rip. Radar separation. Devontae Smith separation. Kenneth Gainwell separate. Everybody's getting separation now. Now this is not the best defense in the NFL, but we went against a lot of defenses that were supposed to be horrible last year, and nobody can get separation. The offensive line stunk. I thought the offensive line, even though the penalties was killing me, man. And penalties are such a drive breaker, man. Like you could be going first down, first down, first down, and you get that one holding call. Now you at 1st and 20. You know what I mean? And it could just you was a field goal range. Now you at the 50-yard line. Like it's such a deal, such a hurt piece, and you got guys probably looking around like, damn, dog, like we just did all this and that one play, that one holding ball that you would probably ain't even have to do. You know what I mean? Like now we're in a situation to where those first and 20, and we probably don't even get no points out of this because just a stupid holding call. But other than that, man, like I said before, I don't really got too much complaints. But that stuff do got to get cleaned up because against a better team, those penalties are going to kill you. Now, we did not turn the football over. Mike, you did say this earlier, and that is major. I want to see a little bit now in the covering, the defensive wise of special teams. I thought was great. I thought that our punter, this guy from Australia, I don't even remember the dude's name. I thought he was outstanding. Everything was in between the 10 yard and the 10 yard and the end zone. Every time he punted, it seemed like it was golden. He only punted like 3 times, but it looked good. But I do want to see more from the return game. In our situation, we do got some speed guys back there. I don't know if the gunners are not getting back enough to block, but I do want to see a little bit more from special teams. When you get to facing these better teams, um, being able to have good field position means a whole lot. Even if you're playing a field position game, to where as though you're punting and we're putting them back to their 10 yard line, then when they punt, they putting us at the 50 yard line, stuff like that. So I do want to see better special teams because you're going to need it going against better oppositions. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, shout out to Philly Irish Drew with the $2 super chat. He said, main thing defense did is adjust. They definitely adjusted right after the first 2 drives. They adjusted, and that's all you can ask for a coaching staff. But go ahead, Gate.
Nah, man. I mean, defensively, I'm a little curious. Sorry, guys. I'm a little curious. What we're going to be going forward because I really want to dive into the film. I want to see the tape once it gets released early next week. I saw a few plays where early on I thought Avery had a pretty rough game. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't overly happy with Jannard Avery's play early on, but I will say Patrick Johnson had a pretty good play in there. I was shocked at how much they played some of the younger guys.
Yeah, me
Patrick
too.
Johnson got some play. Milton Williams got some play. Like I mean, they were playing some of these younger guys. There's no doubt about it.
Bradley,
And
I
then
saw Bradley in there.
yeah, and then I thought Brandon Graham, while it won't go, it won't be recognized so much on the stat sheets, but that play he had down in the red zone, where he came off the edge and just absolutely leveled Davis down in the
That
goal
Yeah,
was
I
line.
nice.
tweet, I tweet, I tweeted about that. That was crazy.
Mhm. I mean, I thought that was a really important play for the defense because up to that point we were kind of getting pushed around a little bit, and then here comes Brandon Graham like, nah, this stops right here in the right here in the red zone. Is stopping right here.
Set the tone. Definitely set the tone. And Gates right. Brandon Graham is one of the dudes who does a lot off the stat sheet that doesn't get noticed. I think our pressure was good. First 3 quarters, we weren't really getting Matt Ryan to the ground, even though two intentional groundings were because he was dang near sacked. Does that count? That don't count on their sack total, right, Gate?
I thought it was supposed to, but when I looked at the sheet, they didn't credit Hassan Ridgeway with that sack. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe it'll be adjusted later
Yeah,
on,
because
but
Derek
I
Barnett
thought
had
they're
one
supposed to
too.
count it as a sack.
Derek Barnett had one early too.
Yeah, yeah. So we probably got robbed of a couple because of intentional grounding.
Yeah, which is it sucks, but it is what it is. Like I said, I just think overall this Eagles team, we're gonna fight, and we're in a division where there's no world beaters. I mean, let's be honest. I think Dallas looked good in the loss, but also Bucks look bad in the win. You know what I mean? The Bucks look bad in the win. First team to ever win a game with over 100 yards and flags, uh, losing the turnover battle by 3, and letting a team score rack up 450 yards first time. And it's funny that I always say when what can go wrong will go wrong for the Cowboys, and they go ahead and have a loss where it should have not happened, and that's my whole take on them. We seen them with a 4,900 passing quarterback, 1,500 rushing running back, 1K wide receivers, but that equated, equaled 8-8. So I'm not worried. I think the Eagles have as good enough chance as anybody in the East to take it. And if we can win the division with a brand new head coach, brand new coaching staff, Jalen Hurts being 22, only with 5 games under his belt, that is big ups. And if the Colts keep losing, and remember, let me just say this too. The Colts have the hardest schedule in the NFC. I don't know if they have the hardest schedule in the NFL. I heard they had the hardest schedule in the NFC. Would that be, AFC? I'm messing up. They have the hardest
We
schedule in
got
the
you. We got you.
AFC. I don't know if it's the hardest in the NFL. But with that being said, they lost today to Seattle. Carson Wentz can stay healthy. The Eagles win a division. So you're going off a team that is brand new, possibly could win a division, and now your future is set up with 3 first-round picks, and you're already division champs. I mean, it makes our pick a little bit worse, but that means if we're the division champs, the thing that everybody wants to talk about, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, draft a quarterback, that is answered for us. If we win a division, it's because of Jalen Hurts is our guy. And then you got 3 first-round picks to spread around the offense and defense.
Yeah, and one thing, just kind of staying with the defense and the theme here, I'll be honest with you, Mike, one of the guys that shocked me at how well they played was Avonte Maddox, because I'll be honest with you, man. Yeah. Like when I saw Avonte Maddox in the slot, in the nickel lined up against the slot, and I saw who the slot was, and it was Pitts. I was like, oh my God, no. And then he came over and just absolutely stuck Pitts on one of those plays. And I was like, oh, yeah. Look at Avonte Maddox, 5'9" and an attitude, bro. Like, I thought he played really well, man. I thought the secondary was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yo, Gate, thank you for saying that. I forgot because I was on a JC Eagles talk thing. We were just joking, like late night, and everybody on the panel was trying to poo-poo Maddox. And I said when he can play his more natural position, he's going to be better. Now, it sucks that sometimes they're going to line up Pitts, and I saw Ridley line up in the slot too, and Maddox was forced to play them, but it was good. And I said this in my live play-by-play. I think a lot of the secondary played good. I think Nelson had a good game. I think Slay had a good game. But who impressed me the most was Avonte Maddox. Anthony Harris was around the ball too, don't get me wrong. But Avonte Maddox was, to me, the most impressive by being one of the weakest links that a lot of people would say he'd be the weakest link if they had a guess. And just his versatility, going against Ridley, going against Pitts on the slot, using some physicality there, has some pass breakups. I like what Avonte Maddox did, and he's a young man too. But like I said, if people look at him as a bad player, this dude was asked to do a lot since drafted. He was drafted to be in the slot, and when he was in the slot, he was good. Then we thought so highly of him when our safeties all got hurt. We put him at safety. Then we put him on the outside. You know what I mean? So he really thrived in the slot when he had that time to stay there. But he's never been able to stay at one position because of what we put on his plate. And we're having Nelson and Slay. I think you're going to see Maddox have a pretty good year in the slot for us.
Yeah, I definitely was thoroughly impressed with Maddox after the situation of him getting juked out of socks. Uh, I felt as though he stepped up play after play to knock away on Calvin Ridley, the pass breakup on Kyle Pitts, even though Kyle Pitts had a whole foot on this dude. Um, I like what I seen from him. I would have liked. I'm gonna go with you with Avonte Maddox. It should have been Darius Slay with a pick six. I talked about that earlier. But in all seriousness, I definitely I like what I seen from whatchamacallit too though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like what I seen from Nelson. I thought Nelson was attacking the football. You know what I mean? Sometimes I kept getting confused with Slay. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, I thought, ah, man, they gotta score that touchdown.
Yeah, you're
I
watching
ain't
the
gonna.
Broncos game. You're watching the Broncos too. That's what I.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to do both, y'all.
Me
But
too.
yeah,
That's why I keep looking this way.
but in all seriousness, man, I was impressed with the secondary, and I know Steve. I didn't hear if you the one that brought that up, but I did know that was the guy that those were the guys that you were looking for to see how they was going to perform. And I actually thought they did a very good job. Even when we was getting ran over and ran through, the pass game still was not there. Like at halftime, I think Matt Ryan had like 38 yards or something crazy like that. Um, and a lot of that is because of the defensive line. I thought the defensive line from the beginning of the game gave Matt Ryan fits. They wasn't getting home, but they was giving that dude fits, and he had to switch up and change up his trajectory on throwing the football so many times. So when you look at it, the defense dominated. Once again, Mike said it earlier. Didn't right now we don't have a touchdown put on us in the season. I know it's only one game. I get it. I'm saying, but it's true. The defense did not give up a touchdown, and I do think I'm not gonna say top 10, top 12 offense, but I do think that this team in Atlanta Falcons are going to be putting up touchdowns. I got them putting up a couple touchdowns against Tampa Bay next week. You know what I mean? A short week, and well, not really short week, but Tampa Bay got a long week. But
Got you.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I like what I seen from the defense. I thought Gannon, when he finally kind of, I ain't gonna say kind of woke up because I get what he was trying to do. He didn't want the speedy Gage and Calvin Ridley. He didn't want he didn't want bombs over Baghdad. So he played the cover two, and Atlanta adjusted. You got to give them props there. They said, "All right, we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball." And it took him a quarter, but he did adjust. Talking about Jonathan Gannon, he did adjust, and when he finally adjusted, you saying it was game over. It was we was playing chess and they was playing checkers, and it was checkmate.
Yeah.
As soon as Jonathan Gannon did one adjustment, the game was over. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that's how I feel. He made one adjustment, and then the game was over. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah. But like I said, yo, you could just feel the energy because, like, yo, when I watched the game, and I want to credit the defense. I think the defense overall played great at when you look at everything that matters. Again, not letting a team score a touchdown is huge. However, that first drive that what's it called? Atlanta went down and just did what they wanted until they got into the red zone, and then we stopped them. I was like, oh my goodness! And then we came out. That first drive, I think, set the tone for the offense. Nick Sirianni, as Gabe pointed out, a couple quick passes to Quez Watkins. I don't know why Quez disappeared at the end, but wasn't it crazy that touchdown Denver real quick? Shout out to Denver taking a 10-7 lead. But wasn't it crazy that JJ Arcega-Whiteside came out to start, right? Like they came out, it was Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, and JJ Arcega-Whiteside for like that whole drive. It was mainly them. I didn't see Rager get in into the second drive when he got in, but I was like, interesting. I wanted to see if Whiteside did nothing, in Whiteside fashion. He's just out there, but he
He's
doesn't do
out there blocking. He's out there
yeah.
blocking and slapping butts. That's all he
Which,
was doing.
hey, it makes sense though. Look, right? They knew they were gonna. Well, maybe not, because I think Gates said that Hertz checked into it, but it was like two quick screen passes to Watkins. I guess you want the preferred blocker and JJ out there, but it was funny. But listen, when we went down and scored that touchdown on the first drive after mixing it up pretty good, the nice pick route. That is how you do a pick route. My guy Zach Ertz said,
Rub
"I ain't
routes,
do
rub routes,
nothing." Rub
rub
routes. No,
routes.
no pick.
Yeah,
Let's not
no
call it
pick
pick.
routes.
Uh, yeah, it was beautiful. And listen, Devontae Smith, first catch in the NFL, a tub. Like that just shows the aura around this kid. And hey, how many receiving yards did he have? Because I got $25. Whoever got close to it, and I got to see how many receiving yards he
I think it was
had.
like 71, Mike.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I think it was like 71.
Y'all
I
know
have
I'm
to go
on my
back and
board,
look.
so
But
I
yeah, hey,
can't go.
71 yards and a touchdown for his rookie debut. Let's go. And a shout out to my offensive step up guy in the pregame, Jalen Rager, who got that touchdown too.
Definitely got a tub. Definitely got a tub. Off speed, man. He
On
looked
speed.
he looked way better. He looked way better out there. I'm not gonna lie. He looked more comfortable. You know what I mean? He didn't look like he had to make a play. He looked like when his time came, oh, he gonna take advantage of it. And that's what you want with these kids, man. You don't want these kids to be on eggshells because they was a first round pick or whatever the case may be. Then you put them in awkward positions. You not put them in positions to succeed. Um, I, and to me, I think Nick Sirianni put these kids in the right position, man. Even Gainwell, as much as I don't want people to think that just because I'm talking about Gainwell that I don't like Gainwell. I just don't understand the situation of what Miles Sanders' role is. Is he the guy or not? But if what was working. You know what I mean? Gainwell didn't get that fourth down, but he was holding his own. You know, he was running the ball. I would have liked to see a little bit more on the outside running. Um, but other than that, he was catching the football when he was really, especially, and I do want to think that had another reason of why Gainwell was on the field more. When Zach Ertz went out, we already know how much of a safety blanket Zach Ertz was. Zach Ertz is, should I say? And it seemed like Gainwell was that safety blanket for Ertz whenever Ertz got in trouble. You know what I mean? Just to duck down or take the little 5 yards or whatever the case may be. That was Gainwell damn near every single time. You know what I mean? So maybe they was using him more because of that role being a safety blanket or whatever the case may be. But he's being used properly. And that's the things that you like to see, man. You like to see Rhaegar being used properly, being used with his speed, being put out there to return punts instead of having a Boston Scott out there. You know what I mean? Shout out to Boston Scott. I didn't see him not one time today neither. Um,
No.
so I don't know what that's about. But if y'all seen, I got this little TV, so I might have missed something. But I
Hmm.
don't think I seen Boston Scott one time at all. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It seemed like they was pressing the right buttons today. Now they're going to be in situations where them buttons ain't working on the elevator, so you might got to take the stairs sometimes. You know what I mean? And we gonna see what they do then. But today is not only a physical victory, but Dallas fans, yes, it's a moral victory. I heard y'all. It's a moral victory and all that. But today was not only a physical, but a moral victory also. That's what happens when you actually have a W on your record. Go ahead, y'all.
Yeah, I want to get we actually just hit over an hour and I do have to make some runs. So I think we're going to be finishing up shortly. Chaos, I'm going to be going over who won it. I don't know, I haven't checked yet, but
I
I'll
got you,
drop
Mike.
that.
I got it. So we'll go over everything because there's a couple of really important things. Number one, believe it or not, the Eagles came back in one time of possession, 30 minutes and 57 seconds to
Wow.
Atlanta's 29:03, which I think that's an important number given the way the first half went. But total yards, Eagles 434, Atlanta 260. Passing yards, Eagles 261, Atlanta 136. Rushing yards, Philly 173, Atlanta 124. Yards per play, 6.5 for the Eagles, 4.1 for Atlanta. First downs, Eagles 25, Atlanta 21. Third down efficiency, Eagles were 6 of 12, Atlanta was 3 of 14. Total plays, they got us pegged at 67. I only counted 66, but maybe I might be off one there. And then Atlanta 64.
That's tough. That's tough.
Atlanta 64 what? What? I'm missing the last one.
Total plays.
Okay. And how many we had?
67 total plays.
67. So it was kind of even on the plays. Time of possession kind of even. Um, it was just dominance who we had football. That's the difference.
Dominance.
You know what I
Dominance.
mean?
Yeah.
Like the first quarter, I thought that, but I ain't gonna lie. But they had the ball 11 minutes. We had it like 3:45, something like that. Correct me if I'm
Mm-hmm.
wrong. But we put up a touchdown. They put up 2 field goals. You know what I mean? So to me, time of possession does matter when you're in a close game. But when you do what we just did, that it really doesn't. I ain't gonna say it don't matter because you want to practice for tougher situations, tougher games, tougher opponents. But man, I'm gonna say it again, man. This is dominance. This is pure dominance, man. Nobody else held anybody to 6 points, and you can't tell me that Atlanta is the worst team in the NFL. But we
Nah,
held
the
them to 6
Jags are.
points, huh?
There might be a couple. The Jags, the Jets. There's a
Yeah,
bunch. But hey, real quick,
I think Denver is worse than Atlanta. To tell you the truth.
same with Gate. Gate said the same thing. But right now, Denver's winning. But look, there's a possibility in a couple hours that the standings for the NFC East is first place Eagles and all the rest of the bums tied for last. 0-1, 0-1, 0-1. You know what I mean? But listen, so far this week has been crazy. 22-10. The Chiefs are winning. The Saints are winning 17-3 over the Packers. You know what I mean? We just saw who Steelers beat the Bills. So a lot of these good teams are falling, and we're not a bad
When
team that
Steelers
beat.
came back and beat the Bills,
Yes,
Yeah.
wow,
that's
Yeah, big
crazy.
time too.
wow,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
And let me just say this: the Lions offense with what's his name? Who's the quarterback again? I forget. The Rams
Jared
old
Goff,
quarterback, Jared
Jared
Goff.
Goff.
The Niners did win 41-33, but the Niners allowed 33 points from the Lions offense, and I still don't believe in the Lions offense. I think Jared Goff was more of McVay. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I'm gonna be happy having a home opener against a team that just allowed a 30 burger on them. Got to feel a little confident, and maybe we can take advantage of Trey Lance's early
Yo,
rookie mistakes.
what's going on? We gonna figure out a game we going to or not?
Yeah,
You
yo,
in the cold?
we was we
I don't
we
mess with the cold, man.
nah,
Shit, we got.
no. We got to figure what we got to do is right after this, we got to get the group chat with all the Eagle content creators. Just start it and say a message in it, and then let's see where it plays out. But an hour, 8 minutes in, I got to get going. You got any last minute thoughts, Gate?
Incognito. I really hope Aleem McNeil does not become the defensive rookie of the year because even though I'm an NC State guy and that's my guy, like, nah, man. we need our own momentum here in Philadelphia. But last thoughts, guys, is I thought it was an encouraging game. I think the coaching staff has showed us a lot. I'm really interested to see if the 49ers don't just come out next week and bench Jimmy Garoppolo, and if we don't get Trey Lance in that game as the starter.
Wait, didn't Trey Lance play today?
No,
He
Trey
did play
Lance
today,
started
but
today.
I think Garoppolo started. I think they were just rotating him in.
That's weird.
Seriously?
Yeah, well, I mean, we did the same thing.
Only highlights I seen from the first quarter on was Trey Lance. I did not see Jimmy G at all.
Me either.
But depending on who's starting, I think what would be interesting to see would be from our perspective, like, what can Gannon do against a quarterback that can make plays with his legs? What can we do off? Yeah. So Trey Lance only threw one pass.
That was the only highlight I saw then.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. That must have been the only
Hey,
highlight I saw. It was a touchdown, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
So, I mean, I don't think they're going to
okay.
start Trey Lance. I doubt they start Trey Lance, but I mean, from the Eagles'
Yo,
perspective,
that's crazy.
Yo,
Yeah.
I'm over here. Yeah, Gate. I'm over here game planning for Trey Lance just off that one because they want.
yeah,
That's
nah.
the only thing they
Garoppolo was 17 and 25. Yeah.
So
17
Garoppolo
to
looked
20.
good.
Yeah, 17 to 25 for 300 yards, man, 314.
They got an offense then. They put up 41.
Yeah. But I
That's
mean, to be
crazy.
fair, Mike, I'd rather play Jimmy G than Trey Lance because
Trey
if I
Lance.
get pressure on Jimmy G, I know I can collapse. I can collapse the pocket on him.
Yeah,
Trey
true that.
Lance can, you can do everything right as a defense, just, except for make the tackle. Him break free, he's Jalen Hurts' problem, right? He can break free from you, and then now you're dealing with this dude running free from you secondary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'd rather take Jimmy G. Honestly, I'd rather have Jimmy G in the game personally. But I do think it would be interesting to see what Gannon can do against a more mobile quarterback. Because I'm curious at that. What do they do with a zone option read guy when you're playing a lot of cover two? That stuff concerns me a little bit. Just because, I think we got gashed a lot when we were in that cover two early in the game. And then finally we started playing a little more aggressively and we shut it down. But
Right.
I'm curious. I'm curious how it goes. I honestly feel like, guys, I'm not guaranteeing we're going 2-0, but I think we got a real shot at being 2-0. I really do.
Listen,
I do too. I thought that coming into the season though, before this game.
yeah. Look, 2-0 might sound good. Then we got the Cowboys in Dallas.
Yeah.
We do listen. The first 6 is tough. Listen, I said this a long time ago. If we come out of the first 6 3-3, people are gonna be like, "Why are you so happy? 3-3? Why you 3-3 with the stretch we have next can easily turn into 7-3. 5-6-3, something like that. If we come out 3-3 and we play some of them losses close. But Fresh, you got any closing thoughts?
No, man, y'all already know. Y'all already know what I like, man. Just while we getting up out of here, while we closing out, just let me know. Let me know where y'all tuned in from, man. Y'all can keep commenting as we getting on. I just be wanting to know where y'all tuned in at, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all already know. That's my final thoughts.
Yeah, we got over 220. Again, we are live on 3 channels. But real quick, before we get out of here, let's hear one more word from our sponsor. If you want to get an advantage over your sports book, well, look no further. BetQL is the only app you need to make smart bets. Their best bet computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports. But my favorite part is it gives you the reason and why you should place that bet. Their models cover everything from spreads, over and unders, and player prop bets. Don't want to use their models and prefer to do the research yourself? Well, they got all the tools you need. They got sharp data that you can use to see who the pros are backing, line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time, team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and the over and under, and team lineup and breaking news. Plus, they track all your stuff and save it. Head to the they save it. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store to download BetQL or click the link in the description. Try.betql.co/Philly Talk to get started. Enter the discount code Philly Talk, all caps, at checkout to get 25% off your subscription offering. You can find all this information in the description, and make sure to check out the Bet MGM offer. If you sign up for that sports book, you can get a free year of BetQL, and so you can take the money from them. Make sure you look at everything in the description. Don't miss out on your chance to beat the sports book. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, we are live on 3 channels: Philly Fresh, Gate City Sports, the Philly Talk Podcast. Hit the like button wherever you're watching. We still got 205 people in here. Spread it out on 3 different channels. And until next time, remember, Battle Birds Podcast, 2 hours before the game, so we can have 45 minutes to ourselves. Because whatever we did this game, whatever juju, whatever woosah we did before the game, we got to keep it going because we 1-0, baby.
You already know, fly Eagles fly. Stay Philly, stay fresh, y'all. Yo, that.
All right, y'all, let's go Birds.